Hey, what is happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. This week we had Yeezy Day, and it's always a day that I have mixed feelings about. You know, I'm always excited, looking forward to it. There's always some pairs that in my mind I know that I want to get, and I always take a lot of L's. That was pretty much the same case this year. However, today my first W showed up at the house from this Yeezy Day. This is the 700 Analogs. I've never owned this pair before, but I love the 700 silhouette, and I really like those monochromatic colorways. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at my first Yeezy Day W, the Yeezy 700 Analogs. So staying true to form, I gotta start with the box, but this being a Yeezy, there's really nothing to go over. Plain cardboard. It's got a 700 on the top. This is a 700. It's got boost labeling on the side because the 700 V1 does have full-length boost, which I'm a big fan of. A look at the tag says Yeezy Boost 700 analog, analog, analog. And I went with a 10.5 on these. And as soon as I got the shoes out, the sun came out with them. I really like these. Like I mentioned on the intro, I have never owned this pair before. Actually, I didn't own my first 700 until last year. And I think these first came out in 2019. Like a lot of Yeezys, it took me a little bit to kind of get into this silhouette. At first, I thought it kind of looked too big and chunky, but especially here recently, I am really feeling my retro runner style shoe. And I feel like a lot of this inspiration comes from retro runner shoes. So I really like these. Like most Yeezys, materials are insane on these. Retail price was $260, which is high, but I think when these first dropped in 2019 that the retail price was $300. So I don't know if I would have gone after these at $300, but at $260, I feel like that's right on the edge of being acceptable. You know, if it was much more than that, I wouldn't have gone after these. One of my favorite Yeezys is the Wave Runner, and I have never hit on a pair of them. And because of the price of those on resale and everything, I've just never paid resale prices for them. There for a while, these got real expensive on the resale market, but I think with this recent release and everything, they've kind of dropped. And I saw where Yeezy was pretty irritated that they were bringing back a lot of his kind of OG style shoes, and I think some that come to mind are the Turtle Doves. I guess the Azale, the 700 V3 Azale, I think that was the first colorway to release of the 700 V3, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, then let me know in the comments. But I think the Azale was the first 700 V3, so he brought back that one. The Turtle Doves I really wanted, but I struck out on them. I will have a review of those coming, but it might be a little bit. My good buddy Silent Z was able to hit on the Turtle Doves in a size 13, so that's a big W. Right off the bat, I love the design of these. Like I already mentioned, I love the retro runner style. I like these chunky midsoles, and I love all the lines and like the drips that these things have down here. And I just think that the colors are right up my alley, along with, you can tell just by looking at the materials, and then it confirms it whenever you feel the materials. These things are high end. Like, these things are really good quality, and it's noticeable not just to the touch, but even just looking at them, you can tell they're really good quality. I think we got a summertime thunderstorm rolling in here, so I better hurry up and get on with this review. On this outsole, you can see we kind of have like a herringbone traction pattern there where the rubber meets the road. and that is in a dark gray, almost like a charcoal type color, but it's nice and grippy. And then surrounding that, you can see hits of this cream from the midsole peeking through, and then within that you have little windows where you can see that Boost cushioning, and I'm a huge fan of Boost. Really like it. But then coming up to the midsole, you can see that cream color that we also saw down here on the bottom of the shoe makes up the majority of the midsole. But like I said, I love these lines. I love how chunky it is. I like all these little drips down here, and those are accented in white, but the majority of the midsole is just like this nice cream color. Very nice, very classy looking in my opinion. At the front of the shoe, you can see that this black rubber from the outsole kind of wraps up, but then we've got a nice thick suede. It's not really soft feeling, but you can tell it's a pretty natural material, and I love the color. This is kind of like a gray, almost like a neutral gray or something like that, but I really like the look of this, and I like how this color just slightly varies from this suede just behind it, and then that just varies a little bit from this suede here on the back of the shoe, which is more of a tan, and then we've got yet another color of grayish tan suede here on the heel. But I love the way they do that. I love how that really shows off all these different panels and all these overlays. Just gives the shoe a ton of depth, and the materials, really, I can't speak highly enough of the quality of these materials. But aside from all these different shades of tannish gray suede on this upper, we also have some really nice high quality feeling leather that has a beautiful texture to it up here on the eye stays and then wrapping back the shoe. And you can see that on both sides. That's kind of like a cream color, and I would say that that sort of matches the color that we have down here for the majority of the midsole. But just another texture and another really high-end material. At the base of the shoe, we have a really nice breathable mesh, and that is in a cream color. And it almost looks like this mesh is a different color than up here on the side panels, and even a different knit. This is more of a tan here on the front of the shoe, and then it gets to a lighter mesh on the side panels and the tongue, and then up here around the collar it gets to more of like a cream color, and again it's got a different knit than the rest of the mesh does. So once again, he's using materials that are close in color, just a little bit different of a texture, and that really helps to accentuate the design of the shoe and just give it a whole lot more depth and personality. So even though these shoes are kind of monochromatic, there's probably like 7 or 8 different shades of off-white or cream in these, and I just think the end product is beautiful. You can see on these side panels that the 3 stripes are kind of hidden just below that, and I think that they might even be reflective, which is a nice little pop. But then aside from that, we've also got some reflective hits here on the back, and I always like having those little reflective hits that just add a little pop to it. And then the laces are kind of like rope style laces, and they match this cream of the midsole and the cream of the eye stays, but just a really nice color. And the sock liner is the same color as the tongue, and I guess it's more of like a light gray, but it feels really soft, really padded, and again, it's just a beautiful color. The insole, I don't know if you can see the insole or not, but it's like a powder blue, and that's the only place where we have that color on the shoe. But let me know what you all think about these. I gotta get in before it storms. I'm out.